Hey guys, welcome to the Reading Comprehension section of the TEAS workshop. This section encompasses about 31% of the test. We're going to focus on the basic definition of reading comprehension, ways to improve it, what to focus on when reading the text or passages in the test, the different types of writing and passages you'll see. We'll look at text structure, and lastly, vocab and word structure. So what is reading comprehension? There are many misconceptions about what people think reading comprehension is, and a lot of it revolves around just simply reading. But if you've ever read a paragraph or an article and you've gotten to the end, you're kind of like, what did I just read? You don't really remember the main point. Simply reading isn't enough. So the basic definition of reading comprehension is processing the text you are reading, understanding what it means, and then associating it with what you already know. This full circle ensures that you are interacting with and understanding the text and making your own connections that help make the information seem more concrete. So we provided 3 different ways to improve reading comprehension: summarizing, actively reading, or chunking or breaking up the text. So summarizing, after you read a paragraph or any kind of passage, take a moment to think to yourself about what you just read. Try taking it a step further and write a sentence or two about what the main idea was. Next, for actively reading, mark words and take notes as you read. Especially try to note the main idea and concepts that you understand from the material. Also, you'll typically want to know anything you question or find important in the passage. And then lastly, you want to chunk or break the passage up into tiny little pieces that you can kind of take in and understand. Imagine somebody told you to eat a pineapple whole and digest it. That sounds almost impossible, right? Well, it's the same as trying to take in a complete passage in one sitting. It makes it much more harder for you to digest and understand what the main concepts are. So just try to break it up. Next, what to focus on when reading these passages. You definitely want to take note for the topic. Who or what is the passage about? Next, you want to definitely understand the main idea. What is the purpose of this passage? What was the reason behind the author writing this? The main idea might be the most prime thing to focus on because a lot of your questions are going to surround the main idea of the passage. And then next, the tone of the paper. What kind of attitude is present? This kind of falls under connotation, which we'll talk about later, but it's just distinguishing the attitude of the passage, which will help you narrow down the choices that are of the questions being asked to you. Next is types of writing and passage styles you'll see. So narrative writing, it typically will tell a story and it's given from a point of view. Some examples are novels, short stories, and even plays. Next is informative or expository, and it's just as it sounds. It informs people. You want to think of newspapers or news articles. Next is technical writing, and it explains something. Your best example would be instructions or product manuals. Next is persuasive writing. The purpose of this is to persuade the reader of his or her opinion or try to convince the reader of something. Next is entertaining writing, and this is writing that provides amusement or enjoyment. Next is descriptive. Is the writing painting a picture in your head of a person, place, or thing? That is the purpose of these kinds of writing passages. And lastly, explanatory. Is the writing informing you of a specific topic or subject? Next, we'll go into text structure. So cause and effect, it's typically an analysis and looking at reasons and outcomes of a situation. So some signal words are because, if, then, due to. Descriptive, describing a person, place, or object to create a clear image for the reader. Some signal words are such as, for example, problem and solution, a type of argument that identifies a problem and proposes a solution. Some of the signal words for this is resolve, issue, analysis between the differences and similarities of two subjects. Some of the signal words for this are similarly, however, in contrast. Now for our last slide, vocabulary and word structure. These might seem very basic and many people seem to overlook them, but you really want to take note of this because these will be tools that will help you when reading these longer passages on the test. So context clues. You really want to look at the hidden meaning or the context of the word that's being asked you so that you can kind of put together the information from the passage. Analyzing, this brings us back to connotation, which is a feeling, idea, or implied meaning a word elicits. Again, this helps you fill in those context gaps. Now we're moving into word structure, and we're going to be looking at prefix, root, and suffix. So prefix is at the beginning of a word, root is in the middle, holding the most meaning, and suffix is at the end. So take our example at the bottom. Microbiology. Micro means small, bio means life, and ology means the study of. So put it all together, the study of small life. Now this is our last slide. I hope that this was able to help you. And if you guys need any additional help, please look at our Writing Center Lip Guides. We have great study guides and worksheets that'll help you work through reading comprehension and some of this vocabulary.